Friends, today I managed to capture an absolutely record-breaking deposit growth. I started with just $1 and achieved a result of $21,000. All the details will be in the video. Make yourselves comfortable. Without further ado, let's get started. Friends, if you ever want to make money through trading, you must not be afraid of taking losses. And I think everyone has heard the saying, what you don't spend is as good as what you've earned. Right? This is about the idea that we should try to save our money. It's hard to argue with that, really. Right? But this goes far beyond just keeping your money in the bank and so on. You can apply this to how you manage your trading account while trading. Today I'm going to be boosting my deposit, trading with just $1. I'll be using a moving average with a 45 period and basically the built-in market sentiment indicator, which is located on the right side. I'll show you how I identify patterns and how I analyze the market in general. Look, the first contract is a short. Everything here is logical. According to the sentiment indicator, we see 90% leaning towards selling. And considering that the overall trend is bearish, the moving average is pointing downward, and there's a pressure level from which fairly long wicks appear. See them at the top? In other words, the asset is being sold off, so we'll follow the trend. Here, everything is consistently clear and understandable. Well then, wonderful. Look, right now I'm trading with an amount that basically I wouldn't mind losing, just $1. And I recommend everyone do exactly the same. That is, if you're trading with money whose loss makes you anxious, that's almost a guaranteed path to failure. So never trade with borrowed money with credit funds. That will never end well, because your emotional state will be burned out. So here we have a profit on the trade, $1.89. Excellent. I think we'll continue it with other pairs. I found another instrument. Look, I'll also take a short position here. I'm entering exclusively from the resistance level that formed right here in this area. I'll draw everything out now. You can see that it's also quite solid and often works as expected. The moving average is also trending downward. So judging by the market sentiment, you can tell this is a definite bear trend. Right after entering, there was an immediate reaction. I hope no wicks or rebounds will get in the way of us making a profit here. So, let's wait and see. So yeah, guys, never trade with borrowed money, with credit, or, I don't know, with your last funds, or really with any money you're not prepared to lose. This has a huge impact on your emotional state during trading, and inevitably, at some point, you'll make hasty, ill-considered decisions that will negatively affect you, your results, and your trading overall. That's why you should always invest only as much as you're willing to lose, especially in the early stages. The second trade is also in profit, $3.57. Basically, we can now bring candlestick analysis into the review. But the signals that I emphasize are not enough to, well, just now, to enter the market again on this currency pair and start making money further. So, watch closely. Now, I'm opening a trade exclusively from the nearest high. If the price were lower, I would ignore it, because right now you could say the market is, in other words, the market is in a consolidation phase. This is a flat, a sideways market, a range, call it whatever you like. There you go. We should primarily open positions exactly from its highs and lows to minimize all risks. In this case, given that the trend is still in a bearish phase, we are accordingly opening trades from the highs. That makes much more sense. The price is pushing a bit through our entry point. That's great. I think it will settle just below the moving average. I didn't open at the very start of the minute, but let's see. Guys, I just want to say that visual analysis, technical analysis, and candlestick analysis are the highest quality types of analysis you can possibly have. I definitely recommend everyone start with indicator-based analysis so you can make decisions faster and better, but eventually move towards this particular style of trading. Excellent. You see that, right? The price closed lower. our trade closed below the moving average. That's nice. By the way, the trading style I'm using right now is also quite risky, so I don't recommend beginners to use it. You can try it out for the experience, but generally it's better not to do it this way. You see, right, I'm opening a position again based on the same patterns. The level is obvious, and right from the maximum, I'm entering the trade. Again, once more going short. So I will keep working this situation as long as the opportunity is there. In general, I don't like to switch between currency pairs too often. If one currency pair gives me the chance to open a series of trades, that's great, and I always take advantage of it. The same thing happens during my marathons and in my personal sessions, which, by the way, you can learn more about by messaging me privately on Telegram. I'll tell you everything in more detail. In general, my project was created solely for educational purposes. All the videos I record on YouTube where I review indicators and trading strategies, you can use and draw your own knowledge from them, which I think is very important in our world, because there are actually very few projects that provide information for free. That's wonderful. Friends, another trade in profit. The closing level is absolutely comfortably at its maximum. $12 already earned. That is, I have increased my starting deposit 10 times or even 12 times. This, of course, is exactly what our binary options are known for. Let's try to execute one more trade here. In principle, the last red candle inspires confidence. There was a slight spike. You see, the price settled below the moving average. And now this level can be broken even lower. And according to the market sentiment indicator, we can see that selling still prevails. Well, of course, yes, this is a bearish trend. It can't be any other way. Although, as you can see, the entry point here is not the most optimal. I just want to trade this currency pair probably for the last time. So for now, things aren't completely clear, harsh, and favorable for me. But that's okay. Friends, everything comes with experience. And those rapid gains you see on my channel are the exceptional result of my 6 years of experience, my 6-year journey in this field. And you know, sometimes there are even moments of luck, like what's happening on the chart right now. It's not even clear at what point the price closed, but $24 just landed in my balance. The market is starting to get a bit volatile. Let's switch to another currency pair. All right, here there's a good upward structure. You know, I think I'll go long, since there's still potential for further growth. The candles are forming a fairly symmetrical pattern, so in my opinion, within a minute the price could reach a new high. It's ready for that. You see, everything is happening as steadily as possible. Currency pairs like this are just perfect for trading. If you trade, say, from the lows, it's just a pleasure. See, this was the previous high. And now the price is basically more likely to break through it, considering the volume of green candles that has already formed. So we're putting in $24 and watching the result. Yes, friends, when I was just starting out in trading, I didn't have anything close to these kinds of opportunities or, I don't know, expectations. But apparently, I'm the right person for this craft, considering that I also spent 6 years of my life working in the food service industry as a bartender. And stress resistance, the ability to find the right approach in a given situation. All of that also helps to gain stability and confidence when trading on the market. Yes, wonderful. Wonderful. We've got $44. Let's close at the highs. The trend has reached its limits. I think I'll work through this moment one more time. The maximum was reached. Now a correction should begin. We're opening a short position. The reaction has already started. All right. And judging by the mood. You can also see from the sentiment scale that at the opening, 90% were sales. You see, a check appears here, and another red candlestick shows up. So let's wait. Yes, friends, what I'm saying is, Dawoiks, don't worry if things don't work out for you. at the beginning, yeah. As Abi Tura Jones said, don't focus on making money, only focus on preserving it. If you've been trading for a while, you know that trading psychology is truly a key factor in achieving any kind of profit and stability here. You might have absolutely the best strategy in the world, but without emotional stability and resilience, nothing will work out. So avoid unnecessary losses, avoid unnecessary entries into the market, and everything will basically be fine. Everyone experiences fear, that's normal, but fear can only be overcome through experience and by developing your own sense of observation. So we have another profitable trade, $82 on the balance. Now, a long position. Now a long, guys. Look, here's what we're going to try to do right now. I'm entering based on the countdown principle. We know that the trend is upward. And at the moment, I see that the buying volumes are, well, pretty large, right? I'm betting now that they're going to make themselves known. There are levels here from which, in principle, the price could go into a correction again. Which one exactly is unclear, but I've already entered at the first, so we'll see. Oh, that's great. Look, there's already a reaction right from the first level. Today the market is just wonderful. I don't know, maybe this will even be the fastest and easiest acceleration for me in the history of RBK out. All the charts, all the currency pairs I see, I really like them. They're completely clear, well, pleasant, and easy for me to read. Yes, once again, I close in profit at the very last second. It happens. You see, it's just a matter of opening a trade at the right time, picking the right entry point, as they say. That's it. No luck involved, absolutely none, guys. Everything is strictly calculated. In reality, when you're accelerating a deposit, yes, there are moments when trades close by a hair's breadth. There's no getting away from that, just like in your regular trading. I'm sure you've had moments when a trade gets knocked out in the last second, or on the contrary, closes in profit at the very last second. That happens often. Once again, I'll continue trading from the level. Here we had a small candle with a fairly large shadow. And before that, two such large ones in a row. Those can also serve as a key level for us. There's a reaction. Excellent. 30 seconds left. Yes, they're starting to buy back. Once again, I feel confident. This time I entered perfectly, right at the start of the minute. So if the price continues its movement without any sharp jumps, we'll close, but as the new candle begins, and that will be a guaranteed profit. Excellent. You see, the balance is gradually increasing, and with each new trade, the profit becomes quite significant. That's why I say that accelerating your deposit is an interesting approach. If you have, I don't know, experience and a trained eye, as well as a bit of luck to open 10 successful trades in a row, then this is an interesting way to earn money. But again, if you don't have experience and aren't ready to risk your money, it's better not to use this approach. Yes, the euro and Canadian dollar are making themselves known today, and I think I'll continue trading this currency pair long as well. What's going on? Better to wait a bit. I didn't really like the last candle with the small body. All right, let's go long one more time. The trend is still in an upward phase after all, right? And in general, I'm all for being confident in your forecasts, especially within a single trading session. That is, when you start your trading session, you have a clear trading plan for it, a certain number of acceptable losses that you've set for yourself from the start. And within a single trading session, you don't change your trading plan. You follow it strictly to the end. If, for example, you allowed yourself 5 losing trades per session, you need to reach that limit and then stop. And after that, just review everything. If you start changing something during trading, it's definitely just more internal swings, risks, and things will only get worse, guys. So here's another piece of advice from me to always see things through to the end. within a single trading session. Once you've set your parameters, sit down and work through them. Did it work out? It worked out. Didn't work out? After the trading session, that's when you start changing everything. These are just some points. I honestly don't know. Let's do it again. The previous trade closed with a return. The main thing is that I don't get knocked out, of course. There we go. Now that's the kind of reaction I like much more. Yeah, and we even entered in the last seconds. What a great trend we caught, seriously. And this will be another breakout. Guys, that's it. This trade, yes, this trade can definitely go into the collection of excellent trades. Look, there's an uptrend. The channel is perfect. Right now, it even broke through it a little. Wonderful, just wonderful. And this movement won't be as scary for us now, I think, considering how strong the previous candle's growth was. After this closes, I'll probably move on to another instrument because there's no point in working with such a sharp breakout. It could either continue to grow or go into a correction, considering that the price still hasn't returned to the moving average line like it usually does. Yes, wonderful. There are $462 in the piggy bank. I literally just made a couple of trades. Let's keep going. Swiss franc, Japanese yen. The situation is not the best. But let's try to make some profit. I'll also explain the logic behind my decision for beginners. Look, if you just read the recent impulse, the price started to consolidate before it. It becomes clear that the market is aiming to test this area. There are huge shadows below, here too. All of this points to buying demand. Yes, gorgeous, just gorgeous. At the same time, our moving average was in a horizontal position, which means neutrality, right? That is neither up nor down. There you go. But according to the scale, right now market sentiment is 98% towards buying. By the way, it's an underrated indicator by many, but in fact it's already built into the pocket option interface. Just to support your analysis, your decision, you can sometimes also pay attention to it before opening a trade. But what else can we talk about? Just gorgeous. And such a beautiful number on the balance, $888. Just absolutely gorgeous. So the acceleration is going pretty well, so I hope it continues like this. It looks like the moment has come to open a short trade. The situation is ambiguous because look, right now I'm not sticking to a clear price movement direction. It's in a consolidation phase, as I already mentioned. Large candles can be divided into levels. Look, there are also levels here from which you should expect some kind of reaction. Like this, and this. This is figurative, yes. One of them has already been broken, but that's not a problem. That is the price. Hasn't had time to fully consolidate yet. There could be a reaction from here or from here. Guys, today I'm reading the market like an open book, honestly. I really like this. I love days like this. I think you have them too, when you sit down and everything just goes smoothly. I want to somehow capture this kind of result, of course. But trading, as you know, it is such that markets are cyclical. And you can't trade every day the same way as the previous one. New situations and new opportunities are constantly appearing. Only with experience, with your exposure, will you be able to somehow lock in these results. In fact, just 2 or 3 truly successful trading sessions a month are enough so that you don't have to work anymore. But besides that, of course, you need to spend a lot of time sitting and analyzing. All right, well, this is just amazing. $1,705, guys. I need to think a bit about what to do next with this currency pair, because it's consolidating again. I decided not to wait since trading in a sideways market wasn't all that pleasant. On that currency pair anyway. I'll open a short position here. On the British pound, there, against the US dollar. Take a look. The highs are decreasing, right? The trend is heading downward, one way or another. It might be a triangle that will break downward because the volumes are constantly decreasing, right? And the highs are getting lower while the support line remains the same. And we can also see this on the sentiment indicator. Yes, and there is a reaction. So basically, if the price settles at the support level, that movement will suit me absolutely. Absolutely. We are trading on the 1 minute time frame, so we do our analysis on the 1 minute chart. Even if, as I said, this is a descending triangle and it will eventually break downward, right now I just need to catch this move down to the support level and everything will be great. Yes, that's exactly what the chart allows me to do. Excellent. $3,257. What else can I say? Wonderful, guys. Just wonderful. I won't be trading long. The price might break through, so it's better for me to look for other opportunities. So here, friends, everything is quieter. I recommend these kinds of chart patterns to those who are entering the market for the very first time. The situation is calm, and it's immediately clear who is dominating and who is giving way. And in our case, the buyers are dominating. At the moment, the moving average was broken, a fairly strong upward movement formed. Right at this level, there's a support zone, and now our moving average is also pointing upward. Therefore, in the medium term, we can open long positions. Not like it was before, but in general, no, in any case. The price is bouncing off that support level I just mentioned to you. Yes, excellent. So, friends, please treat your deposit with care. You see, with the growth happening now, of course, I'm feeling a bit nervous. I already have $3,000 on the balance. There you go. But I'll take this acceleration to its logical conclusion. Because considering that today I'm in a good mood, the market seems to be in a good mood too. And we seem to be having some kind of mutually beneficial relationship today. So, of course, it feels good. Well, that's fantastic. These are exactly the kind of trading sessions I value most when I'm accelerating accounts for my partners in the Telegram channel. It's just that after you receive a crazy number of great kind messages from people saying everyone made money, thank you, well, what more could you wish for? In the end, that was the whole point behind creating my project. Friends, I've opened a short position. You can see there's quite a large shadow appearing. And as for volatility in general, well, it's not that high on this chart. So after such a relatively strong move up for this level of volatility, you can expect a 1 minute correction. At this level, there is already quite a strong amount of selling pressure building up. And according to the market sentiment indicator too, I noticed out of the corner of my eye at the moment of opening that there was more demand for selling than for buying. Excellent. Yes, by the way, friends, I want to remind everyone about my Telegram channel, which has already been around for more than 3 years. I actively conduct trading sessions for you and share information about trading. It will be useful both for beginners and for more experienced traders. That is for beginners, so they don't lose their deposits, and for already experienced professionals. Wow. Oh, friends, this is something else. News comes out, and again, I close at the very last second. Maybe it's a big market maker, or maybe both of them. I usually don't work through such situations further, but for now, I still have the opportunity. $8,500 in the balance. Let's give it a try. The main thing is not to blow my deposit. All right, let's just have some fun and break down what this kind of spike could mean. It's definitely a big player or a sudden piece of news. I'm going to open a short position because I'm hoping for a pullback after such a huge surge. Honestly, it's not clear at all how the trend will move here. I'm relying on the overall picture. The problem is that right now, the previous price movement has absolutely no effect back on the current one. So you have to wait for the analysis pattern to start working. But I don't know. I will try to open a couple more trades. 15 seconds until closing. Damn, that would have been a tenner on my balance. Wonderful, right? Started with $1, ended up with a balance of 10,000. That would be really nice. Yeah, will the chart give me that opportunity today? Guys, well, this is $11,177. Guys, for those who are trading with money, they're afraid to lose. Moments like these are absolutely off limits. That's it. And in general, never try to trade on moves like these. They're completely chaotic. I'll continue. And a second, one more trade there. Look, I see a large volume, right? And considering that the trend is upward anyway, this candle, Mosaic, could become the start of a new trend for us, one that will continue in the direction of growth. Yes, that's good. And the doji, by the way, the previous one, that's also good, the one that appeared. This could actually be the start of a new movement for this currency pair. But right now, everything is 50-50 here. Just for fun, and because I started my trading session with only one single dollar, I'm going to keep going. Once again, let me tell you, I actually and absolutely forbid you to trade in circumstances like this. Seriously, please, I urge you, do not do it. Here, everything is completely random. But for me, there are only two options. It will either go up or not. Yes, and for now, it's going up. Friends, this is interesting. 13,800. This is already almost a record boost for my deposit. Almost, always. After a correction like the one that's starting now, growth should follow. Maybe this is already just excitement. I won't deny it. But it's a kind of excitement that's interesting too. In general, I'm not a thrill seeker, but look, there's one doji. Here, it signaled, as I thought, a new movement, too. That is, the volumes are on the buyer's side. After another doji or two, there might be a third surge, and then a correction. We'll wait and see. The trading session is no longer dull. Honestly, I even broke a bit of a sweat. It's been a long time since that happened to me. And in general, as I said, I try to avoid situations like this now. If during a marathon or while working one-on-one with a partner, a moment like this comes up, I just leave the market or, if possible, switch to OTC. There's really nothing scary about that either. So guys, I have 16,000 on my balance now. If I'm not mistaken, that's about the same amount as the record deposit acceleration on my channel. But I want to set an absolute record. So if the correction drags on, of course, I'll get knocked out. But I hope it ends somewhere around here. Then it should go back up again. Like this, like this, like this. I really want it to turn out that way. Moments like these, of course, you can't do without a bit of luck. But on the other hand, there are only two options. Either it will go up or it will start to fall. So always rely on your own head, but also count a little bit on luck. Guys, well, I'm just going to watch. I don't know how interesting it is for you to watch this with me, but this acceleration will definitely go down in history because nothing like this has happened on my YouTube channel before. Or rather, it hasn't happened yet. And I think that in the future, I won't do this again. Could it really end up being a loss? No matter how much I want it to go the other way. Come on. It's a loss. You can't always trade the way you want. Considering that I started with just $1. In any case, I will publish this acceleration, so I'm counting on your likes and comments right away. Guys, either way, you'll see this acceleration, so I hope for your likes and comments. I just kept trading. I want to show how, maybe, I don't know, maybe something will come out of this. I'm opening a short position. There was a break in structure towards selling here. The situation is similar to the previous one. That is, you see, there's a level after the correction happened, another red candle appeared. So I'll keep trading downward toward this shadow here. After that, a correction might start. The essence of my analysis, though you can hardly call it analysis, is exactly the same as with the previous currency pair. I hope I can take 1 or 2 trades here now and maybe get back to where I was, or you'll witness someone lose $16,000 right in front of you. But in any case, I started with just $1, so it's not a big deal. This run up, I'll say it again, is already a record because I remembered that the previous one I started with $10 or maybe 5, doesn't matter. This is the first run up that's actually working out for me. Yeah, that's good. Friends, discipline is what you should strive for. All right, right now it's really important to calm down and make the right, well-considered decision. I recommend always doing exactly the same, simply because in trading, there's no other way to make money. Look, the level hasn't been broken. Quite long shadows appear everywhere around us. So it seems like the market is now moving without such pronounced spikes. One could assume that this was the lowest point from which we will now see only growth, judging by the market sentiment, or something like that. Based on the market sentiment as well, it was clear that the price intended to rise. The main thing, again, is not to stay in too long. I think maybe I'll open a couple more trades if everything... Okay, let's set the point of no return at $10,000. Basically, I'll be satisfied with my run up from $1 to 10,000. If something works out, that is. Well, you could start pushing it so that it, yeah, but that's not really the point, guys. Yeah, once again, 18,000 on my balance. What can I say about that? This is what 6 years of experience looks like. So guys, it's pretty interesting. It's me again. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and open one last trade because although $18,000 is honestly really impressive, if I could somehow push it all the way up to 20. Guys, the trend is downward. There is a break. Also, a long shadow was broken through. Right now the price is forming this kind of structure and is below the moving average. Everything points to the fact that it might continue to fall further. At least, I believe in that. I always believe in my decisions, especially within a single trading session. Until I finish it, I won't change my approach. 15,000 remains in the balance. I always calm myself with this thought, Max, just don't worry if things don't work out. Alright, that's it. This will really be the last trade because it's do or die. 15,000 is a good amount to build up from, wouldn't you agree? But just over 20 would be even better. What are you going to show me? Yeah, ooh, guys, 21,197 and dollars. This is an absolute record for growing a deposit from just $1. Just think about that number for a second. For a moment, $21,000. Where else have you seen anything like this? That's it. We're wrapping up the run. Guys, this is just a crazy deposit growth. Everyone who watched this video to the end witnessed how it all happened live. It's just fantastic. I'm sitting here completely soaked, sweaty, on edge. Of course, for today, that's it. That's a stop. I won't be trading anymore today. My luck has run out for today. Just kidding, friends. Trading, of course, isn't about luck. It's about your skill, your ability, your experience, and your knowledge. So, if you watched the video to the end, thank you so much. But remember, this kind of approach is extremely risky. And of course, it's better to move forward in small steps, but steadily, rather than going all in and risking everything. In any case, once again, thank you all so much. Leave your comments. Your support is the best response and the greatest gratitude I can receive from you. Wishing you all lots of good vibes and plenty of profit. I'm still a bit in shock myself. See you in my next videos. Bye everyone.